Good evening, all. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's start with some basic concepts and programming exercises, which will help you solve your assignment for week 4. So I am Pratyush Talreja, one of the TAs for this course, and these were the contents that were covered in the week 4 lectures, which started with the sorting. Uh, can you please mute your mic? Thank you. So the week started with the sorting things like merge sort and quick sort. Then the most important thing like tuples and dictionaries were covered, and then how functions are defined and what is list comprehension. These things were covered, right? So we'll start with the problems that will involve tuples and dictionaries. First, we'll start with dictionary. So like before going into the problem statement, can you all tell me what is dictionary? What it has? Anybody?
It has level and arguments.
Okay, and we can
It
say
has key and value.
yeah, we can say that it has keys and values. So in this input list, like what are the keys in this input as you can see on this program one?
A is the key and 1 is the value.
Okay, sure. So the total keys are 3, that is A, B, C, and the values are 1, 7, and 12. So now the first program is like to print sum of all the values in the dictionary. So how we can do that? So first thing first, we'll define the dictionary and we'll name it as input for input dictionary. For list, we used to use this square brackets, but for dictionary, we will be using curly braces. So for input dictionary, we will use A and the value is 1. And between key and value, there is a colon that needs to be defined. Second value was 7, I guess. And third value is 12. So if we print this dictionary, we will get this as an output. This means that we have defined the dictionary. Now the thing is that we want sum of all the values in the dictionary.
No.
Is there any doubt? Okay, we'll move on. So for this, what we will do, we will first define a function because function definition was also covered in this week. So here I am covering dictionaries plus function definition. So we'll define our own function. For defining the function, we use def and the name of the function. For this, we will use sum of all values and we will pass the input dictionary. I'll just call it input here. So here sum will be 0. We will initialize sum equal to 0 in the start. And then what we can do is we can traverse through the list. And for traversing, which loop do we use?
Or keys in dictionaries.
For
Or keys in dic.
for
Yeah, we use for. What else?
Or keys dot. For key in keys dot dic.
Okay, yeah, we can use that. So I will use for key in input, and that will be the entire input dictionary. And now if we want to sum this, we will do sum is equal to sum plus input is our dictionary, and to access the value, what do we do?
Input dot key value.
Input of
Key values.
For accessing the value, we will use dictionary of key. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
And then while we define a function, the last statement should be return. So for our case, it will be return sum.
Sum.
And if we don't want to return anything, we can directly print the sum here. But we will not do that. And do we have any shortcut to solve this problem? Do you know of any inbuilt function?
Key values dot sum.
Can you dictate, please? I'll write it here. So first of all, like we have defined this input dictionary. If we want to print the keys, what is the function?
Input.
Yeah, input dict
Input date.
Dot keys.
dot keys. This will give us the keys. That is A, B, and C. For values, the function is
Key values.
values, right?
Use.
So the inbuilt function to print the sum is sum, and we can try this. Directly we can get the sum of the all the values, right? So there are many input functions that are already defined. So as we can see, we have written input dict dot values, that is 1, 7, and 12. And if we are using sum function, we will directly get the sum of these values. So this is inbuilt function which is already defined. But just to cover the function definition, I have defined our user defined function. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So now we will do one thing, we will print it here. How do we call a function?
Chanya.
Okay. And we will pass the input dictionary. So we will try running this program. I will just copy and paste. We are getting the output as 20, which is the sum of 1, 7, and 12. Is this program clear, or do you want me to help you with any of the lines if you are not getting it?
Clear, sir.
So in line number 5,
Yeah.
input key, the key must be in curly brackets, no? Or it should be in square brackets.
No, it will be in square brackets when you want to access the values. So, like for example, as we can see, input dict is this. This is our dictionary. So, if you want to print the value of B, what you will do? You will use this input dict of B. Oh, I mean this, because B is a string. That's why we need to use this quotes. So to access the value
Yes,
of any key, it should be dictionary name in square brackets, the key name. Then it will give you the value.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
So if this is clear, we'll move to second program. Are we clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
So now this is the second program. The input dictionary is same, but what we want to do is we want to remove the element in which the key is given. So for example, if this is the input dictionary A, B, and C, if the key given is B, so we want to remove that complete element. Element means the pair of key and value. So if key is given as B, so we will remove this B colon 7. So the output should be A1 and C12. Is the question clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So first we will again go with the user defined function. I mean the inbuilt function, sorry. The inbuilt function. For this also, to remove any element, what is the function? Can anybody tell me?
Delete.
Remove.
And what is the function name?
Delete.
Okay, so there is a function name known as del. So if we want to remove that, we can use this. Suppose if we want to remove the element b, so we can use this. Now when we print our input dict, the output will be this, which is our desired output. Is this clear? The function name is delete, and we just need to print this. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay. But now we are not going with the inbuilt functions, we have to define our own function. So for that, what we will do, I'll just change this function. So this is the input dictionary that is already given. I'll change the name of the function. I will name the function as delete element with key. And here what we will do, I will use the same function name where we will give input, where we will give the parameters as the input dictionary and the key value. I mean the name of that key. For example, we will pass b in this example. So for calling it, we will call like this. So now what we need to do is we need to traverse again through the list. So for traversing through the list, what we can do?
For loop.
Yeah, again for loop. But now we have to use another dictionary. We will use another dictionary in this example. For example, this is the output dictionary. And how to create an empty dictionary? So to
Empty
create,
curly braces.
yeah.
Dict.
So,
Just we have to define it with an empty.
You can do it.
so this is how you create an empty dictionary. Now what we will do? So if we want to use key and values both, for example. So in our case, we are getting the key from the main function. So if we want to traverse using key and value both, so what do we do here is for key comma value in input, that is the dictionary name, dot items. Items is again one of the functions, inbuilt function. So here key and value will be different. Now simply we will check, but here I will use k because key is used here. So to avoid the confusion, I am using k. I will use k and v. So we will check if k not equal to key. If this is not equal, for example, then what we will do? We will use this. Now what happens is, for example, if this input list is passed, so first what it will get a, for example, so the k will be a and v will be equal to 1 and the key will be equal to b. So here what we are checking, if a not equal to b, which is true, so what we will do in the output dictionary, we will add the value of a. Second, when we get b, so this equation will be false, this line will be false, so we won't be adding it to the output dictionary. And for c again, we will be adding it to the output dictionary. So in this way, in the output dictionary, we will be getting this value of a and c.
Sir, is it possible to delete a value in the dictionary itself, the original dictionary itself?
Yeah, we can do that also, not an issue. So just again using the same function, we can do that, but then we don't need to traverse this.
Yes, is there a function to delete something like that?
Yeah, there is a function which is del.
Yeah, DL. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
directly we can delete it, but just to cover the function definitions as it was covered in this week's lecture, I am just traversing through the different functions that we can define. So inbuilt functions are there for everything, but for many cases you need to build your own functions.
And dictionaries, are them mutable or immutable? Like means things are immutable and lists are mutable, right?
Yes.
So
So
dictionary.
definitely, I mean, this is a good question, and I would like you to, I mean, find out like if they are mutable or immutable.
Okay.
Yeah. So now what we are doing, we are getting the dictionary in the output dictionary, the new dictionary, that is our output. So now what we can do, we can directly print the dictionary here, or we can call it here also. So now we will run this function. Sorry, just copied that. Okay. So why we are getting none as the output here? Can anybody tell me?
Written is missing.
Yeah.
Return.
So we will try returning the dictionary and see if we can return the dictionary. So now we have got the output here as A and C because we have deleted the entire element with the key equal to B. Is this program clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's see program number 3. So now what we want to do here is we want to remove the duplicate string elements from the values in dictionary. So for example, in this dictionary, there are 2 keys and 2 values. So from a particular value, for example, elephant is strong and lion is also strong. What we want to do, we want to remove the duplicate substring basically. So if you can see in this first value, elephant is strong and lion is also strong, is strong is repeated. Like is repeated twice and strong is also repeated twice. So in the output, it will be elephant is strong and lion also, because we have to remove this is strong because this is repeated twice. In the second value, hi, hello, hi, how are you, hello. So hello and hi are repeated twice. So the output should be hi, hello, how are you. Is the question clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see the solution of this problem. So now we have defined our own function, user defined function. So for this example, what we will do, we will just define the normal dictionary, input dictionary. I'll just copy this if I can. I can definitely. Yeah. So this is our input dictionary. So now what we can do here is, how can we traverse through the loop? Can anybody tell me? How can we traverse through the values of this dictionary?
Value in
Or
input.
value in input.
For
Value in input.
Key in input.
key in input.
Yeah, input. So we can get the values from here.
Input dot values.
Yeah, input of key we can get, right?
Input of key, we will get the values.
Yeah. So yeah, you are correct, and we can definitely use this thing. So in the first example, we have used this thing only, input of key to get the value, but
Yes.
only to get the values. What is the function name?
Um, input dot values. Input dot.
Input dot values.
Yeah. So
Yes.
this is the inbuilt function.
Yes.
Like we can definitely use that for key in input also, that we have used in our first program. But for this program, we are using this. No change, everything is same. Now what we will do? Do you know what this split function does?
Yeah, it splits the based on the character provided. It will split a string into individual ones.
Okay, correct. So for others, what I'll do, I'll define a string. For example, elephant is strong. If we want to convert this entire string into substring, that is list of strings, that is elephant is strong, what we do here is we directly use a dot split function. And if we don't pass anything, that will consider as space, but we can pass space also. So you can see when we are using this a dot split and we are passing this space in the output, that is this space, what this split will do, it will convert this entire string into list of strings. That is elephant is one string, is another string, and strong is the third string. Similarly, if we are using this, for example, elephant comma is comma strong, and now if you want to split this, what we should use?
Comma.
Yeah, so we should pass comma in the input here. Again, you can see that the string is separated into list of strings. So similarly, in our case, we have got this string. So we have to convert it into list of strings first. So what we will do? So yeah, or I'll use the shortcut list of strings. So that will be equal to val dot split, because in first value we are having this string. So val dot split, and again if you want to pass space, you can pass space, but by default also if you are not passing anything, that will consider space as the input. But just to avoid confusion, we will use this space here. Then now we will define an empty list, so that I will call as output. Now again we have to traverse through this list and check which of the elements are repeated. So the simple logic for that is traversing through this list, that is for I in LOS, because LOS is a list, and which is a list of these strings. So now what we will do, we will simply use if statement. So now we will use val, that is the entire list, and there is one function which is count. For example, if this is the string I am using, suppose if this is the string that I am passing as an input, and I am using a dot split, for example. Now if I use this function a dot count and I pass this value of is, for example, so I will get 2, because in this list is repeated twice. That's why the output of a dot count of is equal to 2. Similarly, if I am using it for elephant, I will get 1, because elephant is occurring only single time here. So for that, what we will do, in this list we will check if val dot count of I is the element in the list. If it is greater than or equal to 1, and again we are checking if I is not in our output list. If this is the case, then we append this I here. Now if this is done, what we will do, now we have got this list, and again we want to convert this list to string, for example. So there is a function named join. So for example, if I print A here, sorry, the function name was different. So if I print B here, so B is a list. So to convert this list to string again, what do we do?
B dot join. B dot join.
Okay, tell me, B dot join.
Space.
Before B dot join.
So
No, not
what
like
we
that.
can do here is, we can use this.
Okay, open close bracket dot join and then inside B.
Yeah, we have to use B here. So when this is done, so this is again converted into an entire string from this list. So similarly, what we will do here is, we have got this list here, we have got this output list here. So just to print that, we will use this same operation of join here. So I'll try to run this example. So is this clear? So we have removed the duplicates from the values. If this is not clear, you can ask me which line are you facing any problem.
Hello, sir. Can you explain the line number 7 if condition?
Okay. So what we are trying to do here is, so we are checking value. Now in this, value is this entire thing. And we are checking if the value is greater than 1 and if it is not present in the output. Output is the empty list that we have defined.
Okay.
So if this is the case, then we have to add it to this output. So for example, here is strong is repeated twice in the input, so that will not be added again.
Okay.
Similarly, for the second example, hello and hi are repeated twice, so they will not be added again.
9.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. So is this thing clear?
Sir, do we need the first condition in the if loop? Is it necessary? I think that the second is enough. I don't think there is no problem if the first condition is not there. Val.count of I is greater than or equal to 1.
Definitely.
There is it is only needed.
Definitely. So we can remove this. We'll try the example again. I'll just print the example again. We are getting the same output again, and this was the condition that I have written like by myself, and I wanted you to figure it out. And that is actually not required, because the simplest condition is if this particular string is not present in the output, then only add it. So for example, when we will add is for the first time, for the second time it will be definitely available, and this condition will be false. So perfect, thanks for figuring it out.
And sir, we can use directly list of string convert into set and then again convert into list. It will also easy
Can you please repeat? I didn't
because
get it.
set using set function we can replace remove the duplicate values
Definitely
from the list.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
set is again the inbuilt function that we are using. So but again, like we have to just to write the logic, I'm explaining these many steps. So like for every problem that I've explained, there is some of the inbuilt function present, but just to explain the logic, we are doing this. So for set again, can you please repeat? We will try set here again. So for example,
Okay.
suppose A is the string. What do we do?
Yeah. Then a dot split means first of all create a list.
Yeah, list is created. B is the list.
Yes. Then
Set B.
set of B. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the inbuilt function that is used to remove the duplicates. But here the problem with set is the output will come in a random fashion. So as this is the input,
Output will not be in order.
yeah, output is not in order. That is the problem with set. But this is again a good solution, but this is just the inbuilt function. So just to avoid the inbuilt functions, we are writing this thing. So for me, I am getting this output. If you are trying set, you might get different output. I mean in different order, for example. I'm not sure if I use it again, but for my case, for my compiler, this will be the output. The order will be again same for every time when I use this. So you can try in your compiler, you might get different output also. But the order will be different definitely. Because with order, elephant should come in the first place. So now let's move to the new problem. So now we'll work with tuples. The first thing with tuples is how to define tuples. We'll again start with the very basics. How to define a tuple. So to define a tuple, we use this round brackets. So now, first program is very basic. There is nothing that we have to do here, but just to tell you how to do it, we start with writing the program. Yes. I'll copy those 3 tuples. Suppose we want to perform addition of these 3 tuples. So the output will be 1 plus 5 plus 7, that is 13. Second 2 plus 6 plus 5 is again 13. Again this is 14 and this is 12. So the output should be 13, 13, 14 and 12. So the question clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now what do we do here is, there is a single line solution for this. So just to write the solution here, what we will do, output will be equal to, there is a function named tuple. If we want the output in tuple form, we have to write tuple here. Now what we will do, I will use A plus B plus C. Now there will be a for loop. So how to traverse this entire tuple in one line? So I'll tell you. So now what we will do here is, for A, comma B, comma C, there is one more function named as zip. What zip will do? Zip will actually merge these three tuples together. Bring these three tuples together. That is T1, T2, T3. And
You're
this
doing the comprehension kind of a thing.
yeah, this is just list comprehension kind of thing. So when we use this zip, when you use T1, T2, T3, this A, B, C will belong to different tuples. So when we are using this A plus B plus C, what it will do? It will do element wise addition. That is, it will do 1 plus 5 plus 7. For the second time, it will do this because we are using for loop here. For second time, it will do 2 plus 6 plus 5, 3 plus 7 plus 4, and 4 plus 8 plus 0. And when we print the output, we will directly get the addition of these three tuples. Just to show you the output.
Sir, what actually zip function do, sir?
So this is just a list comprehension type of thing. So zip function will bring in these three tuples together.
Okay.
And this A, B, C will belong to T1, T2, and T3.
Sir, can you print a simple zip?
I didn't get it.
So what does ABC represent here?
So now we are traversing this into this particular list. So how we do in a particular tuple, suppose if you want to print the values of this 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, tuple number T1. So what we will do here is, for A in T1, we will write like this, right? And then we will print the value of A. For example, I'll show you on the code editor. And then command prompt. So we have defined three tuples. For printing the values of T1, I will use this code. For A in T1, I will print A. So this will print 1, 2, 3, 4, which are the values of this tuple. Similarly for T2,
Understood.
we will traverse like this. But if we want to traverse together, like in collectively, what do we do? For ABC in zip of T1, T2, and T3. And then we do A plus B plus C. So for the first loop, I'll write it here. So for the first iteration, the value of A will be equal to 1. That is the first element in T1. The value of B will be equal to 5. That is the first value in T2. Value of C will be 7 for the first iteration. Similarly, for the second iteration, it will be 2, 3, and 4. So when we use here A plus B plus C, it will do element wise addition. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yes.
Yes.
sir, in this line number 8 tuple, A plus B plus C expression comes before the for loop.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how will it get the value of ABC?
So basically, this is again one of the fashion in which we use the for loop in Python.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is no loop. Like you can see again, when we are using this for loop, you have to use this colon also. But there is
Yes.
no colon here. So this is again one more style of writing a for loop. Just
Okay.
to
Can
finish
we
the
use
code.
lambda function also?
We can use lambda function also. Yes. There is again a different way. So there are different ways in which we can print the output. So if we don't want to use exactly this zip function, we can create again for loops to print the values of these tuples together. Only a simple for loop. We can do that also. But just to show you a different way, I'm using this particular line number 8. So as now we have defined these three tuples here, I will write this line and then we can print the output. As you can see, the output is 13, 13, 14, and 12. That is the addition of these elements in the different tuples. Similarly, if you want to perform different operation, for example, subtraction, you can use the subtraction operation also. And now the output will be minus 11. Minus 11 because 1 minus 5 is minus 4. And minus 4 minus 7 is equal to minus 11. Similarly for other elements. You can try multiplication also. Any operation that you want to try, you can do that. Can you please mute? Thank you. So is this thing clear?
Hello, sir.
So what will happen if we do not write zip, only write T1, T2, T3?
Okay, we'll try that. But then it should give some error. We'll try that also. So it is showing the error, too many values to unpack. So zip is the function that brings in these three functions, these three tuples together. That's why we were writing the zip function. So I guess zip is
Thank you,
covered
sir.
in tutorials for week 3 in list comprehension, I guess.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, in this program, we have already know we have three tuples, right?
Yeah.
Suppose we don't know how many tuples we have. Suppose we have every time we have number of tuples are changed.
Okay.
Then can we have some any minor changes in this program?
Can you please repeat?
Sir, in this program we have three tuples T1, T2, and T3,
Okay.
and we want to sum. It's something like column wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Suppose I don't know in advance that I have three tuples.
Okay.
Suppose I pass n number of tuples,
Okay.
and n varies at every time.
Okay.
Then can we have some modification in this program? So how to handle that problem?
Okay. So for that case, what we can do is we can create list of tuples. So to create list of tuples, what we can do, I use LOT for list of tuples, which will be equal to, for example, I'll try writing this thing. When you print this, you will get this list of tuples like this.
Okay.
So in this way, now you know the length of this list.
Okay.
Then you can directly write this for I in len of LOT, for example. This is the function that we have already covered in the last week.
Yes. Yes. Length.
Yeah. So this way you can do it.
Okay, sir.
So now moving on. So now this is the last program of the day, but if time permits, we can take one more example. So for this, what we will do, we have to remove duplicates from the tuples. So here in this tuple, 1, 2, 3 is repeated and 4, 5, 6 is not repeated, and the output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because every
So we
duplicate
can,
will be.
so we can convert it into set now. It will be much easier
Definitely
for
we
this
can do that.
program.
Yeah, definitely. So for dictionaries and this list and tuples, we can obviously use this inbuilt function set. That is not an issue. But just to make you think like how to do it without using inbuilt functions. Because when you go again, like for some coding examinations, when you go for some company examinations, for example, when you apply for some software developer profile, they will ask you to write user defined functions. Again, when we write a particular function, they will ask you for what is the time complexity of that particular function and how you can reduce it. For example, if we talk about sorting, last week we saw, I guess, selection sort and insertion sort. The worst case time complexity was order of n square.
N square.
But when we check this merge sort, then it goes back to
Order
n
of
log
n
n,
log n.
right? So like we can definitely use inbuilt functions, but sometimes what happens is like for checking your logic, like how you apply logic, and for complex problems, even this inbuilt function will not be helpful. When after defining this thing, when I use set of this thing, it will definitely delete everything, every duplicate element, and just print the unique elements. But just to make sure like how to think of a particular problem, how to approach a particular problem, we are dealing with this user defined functions, and we are defining our own step-by-step solution to it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, for this, we will define a tuple. I'll call it as T, for example, or input tuple. And copy it from there. So this is the input tuple. So again, simple for loop we have to use, nothing extra. So we'll define an empty list, which is the output list. And to define empty list, we use this square brackets. What we will do, again similar example that we used for removing duplicates from the values. So I'll use for I in input. Can anybody tell me the logic for this?
If I is not in output,
If I
Not in
not in
output list.
list, you append I.
okay, that is output list dot append I. Now we are getting it as output list. How to convert this list into tuple?
Tuple of list.
So I will write that print tuple of this output list, right? We will try running this example. So I'm getting invalid syntax. Anybody else getting the same thing? So this tuple works in my Ubuntu machine but not in my Windows machine. I'm not sure what is the problem. But again, there is one more way to convert this tuple into list. And I guess that is, I'll just write output is equal to, I guess we use star and just a comma. This is again one more way to convert a tuple, a list into a tuple. So output will be tuple. Then I will print this out.
What does this star do?
So like we have converted this particular list into tuple. We were using this function of tuple and passing in the input,
Yes.
the output list
The
as
list.
the input. So similarly, this output is a tuple, and now as we want to convert this, we are using this one more way. So this is a different way. I will check if this works in this system.
Scattering or something, is it something like that? Scattering or gathering, something like that.
I didn't get it. Can you please repeat?
Is it something like scattering or gathering, something like that?
Yeah, we can say that, but just a sec. I am again not getting the output for this. Output variable was already defined, I guess. Let me do one thing. Till this point, we are not having any errors.
But it is not doing scattering or gathering anything like it is converting from one collection to another collection. It is not converting scatter or gather, something like that.
So now, like before going into that part, can you all tell me, did you get it till line number 7? Can you get it? How we are deleting how we are removing the duplicates?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But now the only problem is converting this list into tuple.
Sir, I got that solution. Can you try this statement?
Tell me.
Take a certain variable name,
Mhm.
then is equal to tuple, then pass the output list in that.
Yeah, that I was not getting previously. I'm not sure why. but that should work. Yeah, now it is working, right? Previously I also
Yes,
used
sir.
the same thing.
Sir, you did
But
the
we
same
actually
thing.
didn't assign the tuple to
Uh,
another name.
I was directly printing it, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me try one more solution, which I was talking about. Now this solution is also working.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not sure why. So this is one way to convert list into tuple by directly using this tuple function and passing in the input list. Second method is using this thing. If you don't want to use this tuple, you can directly use star in the name of the list and just the comma.
What is this star exactly for, or what is it doing exactly?
So that is what, like when we are converting list into tuple. So this is one more way.
Only to convert it into tuple or anything else also?
I have used it to convert from list to tuple. Not sure if you can convert it to dictionaries also.
Okay.
Yeah. So as we have got time, we can do one more small problem. So suppose we are having two lists of tuples. For example, L1 equal to, we will define two lists, A comma 1, sorry, not dictionary, list of tuples, B comma 2, and second list as B comma 3 is one of the tuple, and second is A comma 1. So in this both list of tuples, this A comma 1 is repeating. So if we want to print the value of this tuple, how can we do that? Or just to make it more formal statement, if you want to find the intersection of these two lists, the intersection will be the elements that are repeating. So how to find the intersection of these two lists of tuples? Can anybody help me with the code, with the logic for this code?
For I in L1,
Okay.
if I in L2,
J in L2 means like.
I in L2.
Okay, if I in L2.
print I,
Print I. That's it.
yes, sir.
Let's try this. We are getting the output, right?
Yes.
But now, like, we don't have much time. But just to give you a homework example, what if the value is 1 comma A?
It won't work, right?
Yeah, this won't work for the same solution, but I want you to print this A comma 1. Like, now the intersection will be there, but order should not matter. So this is the question. So how can we do this also? So this goes similar to a problem if the input list of tuples is 1 comma 2, 3 comma 4, comma 2 comma 1, for example. So you just have to print 1 comma 2 and 3 comma 4. and not 2 comma 1, because this is again repeated. So I want you to think for this particular problem. So this is just a homework question, because a similar kind of question is present in the programming assignment also, that airports problem. So now we have seen like what dictionaries are, what tuples are, and what is list of tuples, and how to do traversing in those list of tuples. So I guess this will definitely help you with the programming assignment of this week. And like these were the only problems that I wanted to cover for this week. Any doubts you can ask me.
Sir, in the last problem, what output do we expect?
You mean this one?
Sixth one, which you have given to work ourselves.
Okay.
Usme,
This one?
with changing, after changing the
This one?
order. Yeah.
Yeah. So either you can print a comma 1 or 1 comma a.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without order.
Yeah, without order.
Hello sir, can we check if I in L2 or reverse I in L2? We check both the condition. If I in L2 and reverse I in L2, then we will print.
If I in L2
and reverse.
So you are taking input as this one.
Okay. So reverse of I.
Yes, I can use this, but I am asking what is the input? If you are using this L1 L2 as the input, or this as the input?
No, L1 L2 is input. L1 L2 is input.
Okay. So for example, if I in L2, like B comma 3 in L2, and reverse of I means?
For I in L1, we start with I in L1.
Okay.
Now we check if I in L2 and
or
yes, or I in L2 or reverse I in L2, then print I.
Okay, we can try this also.
Reverse I.
We can try this, but the only thing is this is a homework problem, so I want everybody to think on it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Reverse will not be a command.
Yes, you can try if this is the inbuilt function or not, if this reverse is there or not.
Sir, but reverse is not necessary. Here we are checking both in L2 only.
Yeah, one more thing what you can do is, I'm giving just one of the hints. So there are many solutions to this problem. You can try this reverse also. But one more thing that you can do is, you can take any of the list, for example, any single list you can take, and you can create duplicates in that particular list also. For example, if a comma 1 is present here, you can append 1 comma a also here. Or what you can do, just take the other list and change the sequence, and then append it only in one of the lists. That is one of the hint.
Okay, okay.
So I'll stop presenting. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.